This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids.
What up, everybody? This is your boy Blak and back with another character profile for Game of Thrones. This time we're going to talk about Daenerys Targaryen, aka Daenerys Stormborn, aka the Mother of Dragons, aka that crazy chick that y'all all thought was so pure and righteous and you love so much, and forgot that she was crazy as fuck and got mad when she finally decided to show y'all, yeah, you know what, I'm crazy as fuck, even though I've been that way for 8 seasons. Just ain't pay attention. Anyway, so easily the most divisive character as far as from beginning to end. And I only say that because season 8 made her that way for a lot of people. Again, a lot of y'all thought that she was the rightful person and that she was going to be the best leader and all of that. You love seeing her burn all the slavers and all the noble people of Mysteros who were doing the citizenship file and all that. You know, she talked that good shit all the time. I'm gonna be the I'm gonna break the wheel. I'm gonna be the breaker of chains, like they've been calling me. I'm Misa, you know. I'm everybody's mom. I'm the shit because everything I do is for the good of everybody because I know what's best for everybody. Emphasis on I know what's best for everybody, but let's not pay attention to that part. Let's just go ahead and just act like I ain't say that shit to keep hinting to you that, yo, I don't really give a fuck what these people think. I think what I want is what should be done, and that's it. That was pretty much the crux of Daenerys' character. It's like, yeah. And again, they kind of tried their best to remind you people and make you understand when they talked to Tyrion while he was in jail, when Jon had that conversation with Tyrion. That was the show writer's attempt to make you guys understand, look, this whole crazy. She's always been crazy. We all love her because every time she did some crazy shit, it was to somebody who we didn't like. But if you think about it, who the fuck just goes around and just goes and murders everybody who opposes them, or who don't think like they think? You know, flash forward. Oh shit! I almost knocked off my controller while I'm talking. But flash forward to present times. Think about whether if you had to deal with somebody who don't believe in gay marriage, and you really are an advocate for gay marriage, but there's a lot of people who are like, no, I don't take Alabama. You know, we don't believe in that shit. We don't believe in abortion too. You can't make us think that way. Okay. So instead of thinking well, I'm sure not everybody feels like that, and there's just this group of people who feels like that. Even if it's just a group of people that you go after, you decide, well, I just need to kill them, and then everything will be all right, right? It's not necessarily how the way the world works. Sure, it makes sense in the short term, but what happens if I slightly agree on the fact that, look, yes, abortion needs to be done, but there definitely needs to be a time limit set to this, and your idea is a reasonable time limit, I should say, by the way. But your idea is no, you should be able to abort a baby any fucking time when you damn well please. Okay, well, since you disagree with me, I gotta kill you, right? Because that's what I do. I don't suffer disagreements. I don't negotiate. I don't compromise. That was Dany. She don't negotiate. She don't compromise. When she gave that speech to Jon, before he put the knife to her, when she was well, he was just well, what if they don't agree? And she was well, we'll make them agree to what we think, what we see. We'll make them see what I think is right. You know, it's yeah, no, it's not we're going to have a dialogue about this shit or about anything. I'm doing what's best, and if you don't see that, then we got a problem here, and it's either you or me. Just with how her handling of him, her idea of negotiating was just shut up, know your place, Don't tell nobody, so nobody will ask you to do this. The fact that she was in love with him gave him that small bit of leeway, even though her leeway was ridiculous. Her leeway was you just do what you're told and never mind all that shit. It wasn't like, this land will be thrown in chaos if things happen, and we need to like first figure out this war, and then me and you have this discussion on who should be the rightful heir, like whether or not what's the best time to do it. But right, like I would have accepted it if that was her logic. Like right now we're in the middle of a fight, and we can't be fighting amongst each other at the time. We need to like conclude getting rid of the Lannisters, taking the kingdom away from them, and then we can have a discussion with the rest of the lords and ladies of Westeros and put it on the table and see, like, who they want as their leader. That would be the reasonable thing, because I can't deny your birthright even though I really want to be king. If she would have said some shit like that, cool. But no, her whole thing was, no, I want this. I want this crown. It's mine. They took it from me, even though your family took it from them and murdered everybody along the way while they had it, and it was like just the fucking worst and all that. Well, yeah, I get it. My father was just like a horrible human being, but they killed him and they took my took my crown, so fuck them. No reason. No reason. No, think about this, y'all. Y'all were championing someone who came from a bloodline that was taken out, not because of a simple disagreement, but because they were crazy as fuck. And their way of handling things was, if you don't agree with me, I'm just going to roll over and take you out. No compromise, no negotiation. You either get down or lay down. That was their whole solution. That was Dany's solution for everything. But like Tyrion told Jon, we all didn't have minded because, it was against people that we really like thought were despicable people that we didn't care for, and for better or for worse, she fooled us into thinking that she was going to be great. But me personally, I've always said this, and I said this when everybody screamed and yelled about the next to last episode when she burned her, like, that's not what Dany would do. It's exactly what she does. That's all she's done. Every time she went after a place, she took it with blood and fire. And then when she sat in the aftermath, and then she with smiles and like kind words, like, oh, we're going to make this world great for you. Don't worry, never mind, like, there's a million people in the streets with their guts hanging out. And yeah, she didn't necessarily go after citizens, but think about, like, her reasoning for everything she did. It's just like when she was in that city, I forget the name of it, but the city where the assassins were coming after her and things like that. She wanted to fucking go ham on that city. She was mad, pissed as shit. Her whole thing was, why aren't these people accepting me? And they were trying to reason, was like, some people who don't really like change like that, it's gonna be like that. And she was just like, no, you gotta wipe them off the face of the earth. And that was her whole thing. It's like, she couldn't she wouldn't have been able to understand if she would have got to rule the championship. She would have killed those people regardless, because there would have been some people who would have been leery of her as a Targaryen. Targaryens have a horrible reputation in Westeros. She would have had to go after the Starks, who wanted to be independent and didn't want to like deal with the like kingdom politic bullshit. She would have did that because, no, there's no way that I could have a rogue nation sitting over here like doing what the fuck they want and not under my crown. No, it was 7 kingdoms with my father. It should be 7 kings with me. That would have been her deal, and she would have went after the Starks and murdered them all. Same thing with Jon. Like, yeah, as much as she loved him, it would always be lurking in the back of her head, especially like once the news got out. And even if he said, I abdicate the throne, there'd still be people like, yeah, he'd probably be a better leader than you, though, because we like him better. And that would linger in the back of her head, like, yeah, they like this motherfucker better than me. Even though he said he don't want this shit. It's just always going to be a thing. I don't know if I want to deal with this thing. And eventually she would have got around to reasoning herself into like, yo, it had to be done because what the fuck? This dude's gonna be a problem to me, even though he's not trying to be a problem. It's not his fault that this is the way people are. You know what I mean? All the people who chose John had to go because once she got rid of John, it would have been fucking war. So I can't just take out John. I had to take out his whole family. I got to take out the entire North. I got to go after the wildlings. I got to kill everybody off who might have a gripe with me because Jon Snow is gone. That's just it. I got to murder them all. Like, she would have never been satisfied or happy with her place because there would always be someone who would contend with her rule. Even if it got to the point where everything was peaceful, one thing that she said that they disagreed upon, her mind said it's like, yo, no, but I'm right. So you can't do that. And if someone would have kept speaking up against her on certain things, that's how she deal with everything. She never really dealt with anything on a diplomatic thing. It's like that little "see, I know how to play politics" thing that she did with what's his name, Gendry, when she gave him Dragonstone and shit like that. That was just her trying to like show for face. You know, she was being fake as shit with that shit because she needed to get people to like, you know, clap it up for her. Because everybody was sitting there telling all those stories about John, about how great he fucking is. Unwarranted. John ain't do nothing but do what he does. He was just being John. And that shit was unwarranted at all. You know, but, yeah. People seem to think that, like, she made some dramatic, like, 180 in the span of an, like, 10-minute segment in an episode. It's like, yo, she's always been this crazy chick. She's never been stable whatsoever. You always saw moments where she felt like she was going to have a fit once she was told something she didn't want to hear. Just like when that conversation with Tyrion where he was like, yo, maybe you should stay over here. You're making peace here. You're making this a better country. Yo, Westeros is fucked up. Those lords and ladies over there, they're some fucked up people. And a lot of them don't really like the family name. And they're going to be people who are going to be sitting in, you know, smiling in your face, fucking like hoping that you fall because they're scared that you're going to become, you know, the same as your father. You know, they don't like you guys. You know, it's like my family. They don't like my family because, hey, I could be as good as possible, but everybody see me and like, oh, you're fucking Lannister. You're fucking like, you know, asshole. And it's like, yeah, nah, that ain't how it really works, but that's how it's going to be viewed. Like, so stay over here. You're beloved. People respect your rule. You're building like a great nation over here. You got things going on. What the fuck you need to come fuck with us fucked up people over there for? She's like, no, it's my family. They took it from us. It's my crown. I want it. And I need to break the wheel, and I'm going to break it there. If they don't accept it, then too bad, because they're going to have to get this work. All right, man. Ma'am. Okay, sure, whatever. You know, but that's the thing. She's always been fucking ridiculous and not stable. And to see her make this flip wasn't that far. I mean, she put it on her face long enough for us to like get comfortable, and that's when it all came out. And for me, it was like, yeah, that's her. Like, even though I still maintain since she got to Westeros, that like that moment was always coming. Because it's like everywhere she went, she was just like, yeah, I'm the rightful queen and everything. And people would be like, oh, okay, you're Daenerys, okay. You know, a lot of people in the North went along with it because John went along with it and kept pushing that. But they still were like, yeah, well, you say so, John, but I don't know. You know, it has always been that way. So I don't get why people like feel like there was something drastic that happened that went off the rails with her. It's always been there. It's always been there simmering. You know, maybe you don't like the thing that set her off. Maybe I could see that, but it's ridiculous to think that she wasn't going to probably go down this path, like, because she never showed any indication that she truly was not a Targaryen. That's the thing, like, where you constantly got beaten and got shown the idea that, yo, yeah, Tyrion's a Lannister by name, but he's not really a Lannister. You never saw that with Dany in reality. It was just that, again, the people who she contended with in Westeros across the sea were a different breed of people that she contended with in Westeros. You know, everybody who she ran into, she had the benefit of never running into anybody that you couldn't find yourself disagreeing with them being taken up out of there. So, yeah, hey, it is what it is. She's gone, and the Targaryens are in charge, which is the way it should be. The way it should be. Same thing with Jon, because if Jon would have been there, that whole country would have been fucked up over him. Like, Grey would have been like, fuck it. I'm not going to Nath. I'm going to start a war. The Dothraki damn sure would have been like, no, you killed our leader. Like, fuck that shit. Like, we going to ride these horses and burn and chop everything the fuck up. You know? Yeah, nah. You know? Dany, you tried, but you were just a crazy chick. And, hey, you had to be up out of there. Too bad you couldn't like actually break the wheel of your family and not be a fucking like a lunatic, but you just never steered away from the Targaryen ways. Even in the whole show, she always talked about her Targaryen blood, how Targaryens don't do this and Targaryens don't do that. Like, she really took up the mantle of her brother, just to a lesser extent. Like, crazy. And you just really went into the incest thing like the rest of your family. So she was a Targaryen through and through. Anyway, as always, feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.